The cold steel of the revolver pressed against my temple like a lover's whisper turned sour, my father's finger steady on the trigger as he sneered, "You're no son of mine, Skylar. Never were." Blood pooled on the penthouse floor, not mine, not yet, but the metallic tang mixed with the champagne fizz from the party below, our family's twisted celebration of my betrayal. I died that night, choking on the irony of it all, only to wake up screaming in a body that wasn't broken. 3 years earlier, heart pounding like a war drum in my freshman dorm at Columbia University. It was orientation week, 2022, the air thick with New York humidity, and the buzz of kids pretending they owned the world. I bolted upright in my twin XL bed, sheets tangled around my legs, staring at the faded poster of the Brooklyn Bridge taped crooked on the cinderblock wall. My hands, smooth, unscarred, no calluses from the endless coding marathons I'd logged in my last life, trembled as I touched my face. 20 years old again.
Alive. Whole.
Skylar? Dude, you okay? My roommate, Jamal, poked his head in from the common room, his locks swinging like pendulums. He was munching on a bagel slathered with cream cheese, oblivious to the ghost I'd just outrun. In my previous timeline, he'd been the one to find my body after I'd OD'd on painkillers in this very room, 6 months after Dad's public disowning at graduation. Nightmare or what? You look like you saw Bigfoot. I forced a laugh, raw and jagged in my throat.
Yeah, man.
Bad dream about finals already. Lies came easier this time around. I'd spent years, hell, a lifetime, perfecting them after the family empire crumbled under Dad's paranoia. Richard Hale, tech mogul, founder of Hale Dynamics, the kind of guy who donated wings to buildings just to slap his name on the plaque. In that other life, he'd built me up as his golden boy, grooming me for the boardroom since I could walk. Valedictorian at prep school. Internships at Silicon Valley startups by 16. And then, at graduation, he'd yanked the rug out. But not this time. This time, I knew the rot at the core.
Ethan.
My brother. The golden-haired prick who'd slithered into our lives when I was 12, Mom's surprise from her affair. Except it wasn't an affair. Not with Dad. Ethan was Uncle Victor's bastard, planted like a weed in our garden because Victor had always wanted what Richard had. The wife, the heir, the legacy. Victor, Dad's older brother, the shadow puppeteer who'd whispered poisons into Richard's ear for decades. He'd convinced Dad I was the fake, the cuckoo in the nest, all while hiding that Ethan carried Victor's blood, not Hale's. I swung my legs over the bed, feet hitting the scuffed linoleum. The dorm smelled like stale pizza and ambition, a far cry from the sterile luxury of the Hale penthouse. My phone buzzed on the nightstand, a text from Mom. "Sweetie, can't wait for parents' weekend. Dad's booking the helicopter. Love you." Heart emoji. In the before, that love had curdled into silence after the disowning. She'd chosen sides, or so she claimed, but I knew better now. She was trapped, same as me. "Jamal, you got any coffee?" I asked, pulling on jeans that fit like they were made for a stranger, which they were, to this younger me. "In the communal pot, bro. Why you up at dawn?" "We got that econ lecture in 2 hours." I needed to move. To plot. Rebirth wasn't a gift, it was a loaded gun, and I was done being the target. First things first, access. In my old life, I'd burned bridges trying to prove my innocence after Dad cut me off. No trust fund.
No connections.
Just ramen and rage until the pills called my name. This round, I'd play the long game. Infiltrate. Expose.
Destroy.
Class that morning was a blur of supply-demand curves and Professor Ramirez's droning voice, but my mind was a hurricane. I doodled family trees in the margins of my notebook. Hale lineage, branching like a noose. Richard Hale, born 1965, married Mom in 98 after a whirlwind in Manhattan's art scene. Me, Skylar, born 2002, the miracle after years of IVF failures. Then Ethan, 2005, the oops baby Mom passed off as Dad's during a business trip to Victor's vineyard in Napa. But DNA didn't lie. I'd hacked the results once, post-disowning, from a shady lab Dad had buried. Ethan, 99.9% match to Victor.
Me. Pure are.
Why the switch? Victor's grudge went back to their father's will. Richard got the company's seed money. Victor the scraps. Victor had seduced Mom in '04 during one of Richard's Europe jaunts, but she panicked, claimed it was Richard's to keep the peace. Victor let it slide until he didn't. He fed Dad doubts about me, planted evidence of Mom's flings, twisted my boyish rebellions into proof I wasn't his. By graduation, Dad believed it all. Publicly branded me a fraud on that stage, mic in hand, while Ethan smirked from the wings. I wouldn't let it happen again. Step 1. Get close to Ethan early. In the before, he'd been my shadow, charming the family while undermining me, sabotaging my projects, spreading rumors. This time, I'd be his ally. Poison from the inside. Parents' weekend hit like a freight train. The helicopter touched down on Columbia's lawn, rotors whipping frisbees out of undergrads' hands. Dad strode out first, Armani suit crisp against the autumn chill, his salt and pepper hair gelled back like he was still closing deals in the '90s. Mom followed, elegant in cashmere, her smile brittle as spun glass. And Ethan, 15 now in this timeline, lanky and preppy in his Dalton blazer, fist-bumping me like we were blood. Skylar, look at you, conquering the Ivy League already. Dad clapped my shoulder, grip firm, eyes appraising. No suspicion yet. That came later, when Victor started his whispers. We toured the campus, Dad name-dropping alumni like poker chips. Your great-uncle went here, you know. Built half of Wall Street.
Lies.
Victor had flunked out, bitter as bile. Over dinner at the faculty club, filet mignon and Bordeaux that cost more than my tuition, conversation turned to legacies. Ethan here's talking MIT next year, Dad said, ruffling my brother's hair. Ethan's eyes flicked to me, a glint of something feral. Even then, he sensed the threat. I smiled, clinking glasses. MIT's solid, but Columbia's got the edge for AI. I'm thinking Hail Dynamics could use some fresh code. Plant the seed. Make him see me as indispensable. Mom beamed, but her hand shook pouring water. She knew fragments, Victor's advances, the guilt. In the before, she'd confessed on her deathbed, cancer-riddled and alone because I'd cut ties. I did it for you, Sky. To keep us together. That night, back in the dorm, I fired up my laptop. No fancy firewalls yet. Dad hadn't upgraded security post my internships. I VPN'd into the family server, heart slamming. Emails. Victor to Dad, 2004. She's lying, Ricky. The kid's mine. But play along, for the Empire. Buried deep. Encrypted sloppily. Gotcha. But exposure was too soon. I needed leverage. Allies. And a way to make Dad question without alerting Victor. Next week, I joined the coding club. Met Lena, a poli-sci major with hacker fingers and a grudge against rich kids. Daddy's trust fund? She asked, smirking over her Red Bull. Something like that. We bonded over Python exploits. She'd be useful. Fall semester blurred, midterms, hookups that meant nothing, late-night scrolls through Victor's Napa estate photos. He hosted retreats there, wine tastings masking boardroom coups. Dad attended religiously. That's where the real poison brewed. Thanksgiving loomed. The Hale compound in the Hamptons, sprawling modernist glass box overlooking the Atlantic, staff in livery, turkey carved like a trophy. Uncle Victor arrived fashionably late, his Jaguar purring up the drive. He was Dad's mirror, sharper jaw, colder eyes, but with a drawl from too many California cabs. Skylar, my boy. He bear-hugged me, cologne choking. Heard you're top of your class. Richard, you've got a ringer here. Dad chuckled, but his eyes narrowed. The first crack. Dinner was a minefield. Ethan dominated, regaling with lacrosse tales. I played along, then dropped. Speaking of teams, Uncle Vic, that Napa spread. Ever think of tech integrations? Drones for the vines? I could prototype. Victor leaned in, intrigued. Ambitious. Like your old man. But later, by the fire pit, he cornered me. You're sharp, kid. Sharper than Ethan, maybe. Watch that. Family's a zero-sum game. I met his gaze, unflinching.
Noted.
But blood's thicker, right? He laughed, but it didn't reach his eyes. Back at school, I escalated. Hacked Ethan's school email, innocent stuff, but I planted trackers. Lena helped, her dorm a war room of energy drinks and dual monitors. This is some Succession shit, she said, grinning. You gonna burn it down? Not yet, I replied. Build first. Winter break. Dad's annual gala at the Met. Black tie. A-listers schmoozing. I cornered Mom in the coat room. You okay? You look tired. She stiffened, pearls glinting. Just the holidays, darling. Victor's been helpful with the foundation. Helpful. Code for covering her tracks. If you ever need to talk about anything, I'm here. Her eyes welled. You're too good, Sky. Don't change. I almost broke then. But revenge isn't sentiment. It's surgery. Sophomore year dawned with snow on the quad. I aced internships, charmed professors, positioned myself as Dad's heir apparent. Emails to him. Concepts for Hale's next app, AI-driven security. He responded, proud, engaged. Ethan noticed. His text turned snide. Don't get cocky, bro, Dad's got plans. Victor visited campus, mentoring me over lunch at Joe's Crab Shack. You're Hale through and through, he said, probing. I fed him half-truths, watched him squirm. By spring, the whispers started. Dad's assistant emailed. Meeting Succession. Bring DNA docs? My gut twisted. It was beginning. I had to accelerate. Lena and I dug deeper. Victor's financials, offshore accounts siphoning Hale funds. Blackmail material. But the real hook, Mom's journal, digitized in the server. Entries from 2004. Victor's hands on me. Richard away. God forgive me. The baby's not his. Twist. She thought it was Victor's at first. But a later test, confidential, proved otherwise. Ethan was Victor's, yes, but Mom had miscarried my sibling earlier and the IVF mix-up.
No. Wait.
Deeper dive. The clinic records. Dad's sperm sample swapped. Victor's doing, to claim the throne. The betrayal layered like onion skin. Dad wasn't the villain. He was the mark. Victor, the snake. I confronted Mom in secret, over coffee in a midtown cafe. Tell me about Ethan. She paled. Es que, no. I know. And I forgive you. But Dad needs to.
Tears.
He'll destroy Victor. The family. That's the point. Summer internship at Hale Dynamics. Dad's office. Glass walls overlooking Hudson. Ego in every frame. Son, you're killing it, he said, handing me keys to the C-suite bathroom. Symbolic. Ethan in turn two, fetching coffee. His jealousy simmered. One night, after hours, I found Victor's file in Dad's drawer. Skylar anomalies. Forged reports. My birth certificate doctored. School records falsified. Rage boiled. I copied it all. Back to campus. Fall 23. Lena. What's the play? Graduation. Full circle. But first, a decision that'd haunt me. To force Mom's hand, I leaked a snippet to Ethan's phone, anonymously. Your dad's not who you think. Let the kid stew. He confronted me in the gym, weights clanging. What the fuck, Sky? You hacking me? I feigned shock.
Whoa, easy.
What's up? You're trying to ice me out.
That's it.
Brother, I said low. Blood doesn't lie.
He swung.
I dodged, pinned him. Ask Victor. Doubt seated. Junior year hit like a blizzard. Exams stacking up. Dad's expectations heavier than the snow on Riverside Drive. I'd woven myself tighter into the Hale web, but cracks were showing. Victor's visits to the city ramped up, consulting gigs that reeked of sabotage. He'd cornered Dad in board meetings, planting doubts. Skylar's ambitious, Ricky, but is he loyal? That kid's got your fire, or someone else's. I overheard it once, through the intercom I'd accidentally left on during a server tweak. Dad's laugh was forced. He's mine, Vic Blood.
Blood.
The word mocked me. In my old life, That doubt had festered into obsession. Dad hired PIs, dug into Mom's past, unearthed Victor's old fling with her. But he fixated on me, the older son, the one who'd always been distant. Ethan, the baby, got the grace. Victor's perfect plant. This time, I countered with charm offensives. Family ski trip to Aspen. Me, carving blacks while Ethan wiped out on greens. Dad watched, nodding approval. You're a natural leader, Sky. Victor, nursing a scotch by the fire, shot me a glare that could curdle milk. Post-trip, I escalated the leaks. Anonymous drops to Ethan's inbox, clinic receipts, Victor's emails. Not enough to blow it open, just enough to make him paranoid. He started tailing me on campus, showing up at my lectures uninvited. Dad says you're gunning for CTO. Back off. I clapped his back, frat boy style. Plenty of room, bro Hale's big enough for two. But his eyes darted, haunted.
Good.
Let the imposter sweat. Lena became my anchor and complication. Our study sessions evolved into something steamier, tangled sheets in her off-campus walk-up overlooking the East River. You're playing God, Sky, she'd murmur post-coital, tracing my scars, imaginary ones from the before. What if you become the monster? I kissed her temple. Already am. Just choosing my victims. She laughed, but worry creased her brow. Smart girl. The controversial call loomed. To frame Victor, I'd need dirt that stuck. Ethical gray? Hell, black. I scripted a deep fake. Victor's voice, confessing to the swap on a recorded call. Lena coded the visuals. This could land you in federal pound-me-an-ass prison, she warned. Worth it, I said. Planted it on Ethan's cloud drive.
Bait.
Spring break. Napa. Victor's vineyard. Acres of Cabernet under California sun. Dad insisted. Family bonding. The estate was a fortress of old money, Spanish-style hacienda, infinity pool merging with hills. Staff buzzed like bees, pouring tastings. Ethan arrived sullen, nursing a black eye from lacrosse. I knew better, his hookup drama, but he blamed me. You ruin everything. Victor pulled me aside during a barrel tour, oak staves echoing our steps. You're stirring shit, boy. Ethan's rattled. Drop it. I met his steel gaze. Uncle, family's about truth. Right? He gripped my arm, bruising. Truth's what I say it is. That night, poolside bonfire. Stars like diamonds, air thick with wood smoke and Merlot. Dad toasted. To Hale's unbreakable. Ethan's phone chimed. He glanced, paled, bolted inside. I followed at a distance. In the study, leather chairs, crystal decanters. Ethan faced Victor. This you?
Talking about.
Swapping samples? Mom. Victor's face. Thunder. What the? It's fake. Sky's fucking with you. But doubt cracked his voice. Dad wandered in, drawn by shouts. What's this? Ethan thrust the phone. Recording played. Victor's synth voice, oily. Ricky's sample was easy to switch. Ethan's mine. Our blood on the throne. Dad's color drained.
Vic?
Tell me it's bullshit. Victor blustered. Deep fake. That punk nephew of yours. But Dad's eyes hardened. Test it. All of us. Tomorrow. I watched from the shadows, pulse thundering. The lies spread like ink in water. Morning. Private jet to a discreet clinic in San Francisco. Blood draws under fluorescent hum, nurses in scrubs avoiding eyes. Mom, summoned, sobbed in the waiting room. Sky, what have you done? Fixed it, I whispered. Results. Sealed envelope. Ripped open in the limo back. Dad's hands shook. Skylar Hale, 99.8% paternal match to Richard. Ethan, 0.02% to Richard. 99.7% to Victor. Silence, thick as fog. Then Dad. Jesus, Vic. My own brother. Victor sneered. You are weak, Ricky. Always. I gave you an heir, better than that sniveling.
Out.
Dad's voice, ice. The jet ride home was awake. Ethan curled fetal, Mom catatonic.
Me? Stone.
But Victor didn't slink away. He lawyered up, countersued for defamation. That recording's fraud, his brief claimed. Media sniffed. Tech titans family feud, headlines screamed. Stocks dipped 3%. Dad retreated to the penthouse, bourbon his new board. I visited, bearing takeout from Joe's Pizza. Dad, it's over. He slumped in his Eames chair, hollow-eyed. I almost lost you, Sky. For what? His game? Forgive yourself. Fight back. He nodded slow. Your CEO material. Not yet, but soon. Ethan vanished to boarding school, therapy. Mom filed for separation from everyone? No, just distance. Summer, I interned deeper, purging Victor's influence. Fired his cronies, audited accounts, millions siphoned to Napa. Lena and I celebrated with rooftop beers, Manhattan skyline glittering. You won, she said. Not yet. Graduation loomed. The stage. The mic. Senior year. Pressure cooker. Thesis on AI ethics, ironic, given my sins. Dad rebuilt, stronger, courting investors. Skylar Hale Jr., they joked. I leaned in. But Victor struck back. Leaks, my hacks, deepfake origins traced to Lena's IP. I'd routed sloppy. FBI knock at dawn. Mr. Hale, cyber fraud. Interrogation room. Coffee stale, cuffs cold. We know about the recording. I lawyered up. Dad's shark. Prove it. They couldn't. Not fully. Charges dropped, but mud stuck. Campus whispers. That rich kid hacker. Lena distanced. Too hot, Sky. Call me when it's clean. Heartache but fuel. Ethan resurfaced Thanksgiving. Gaunt eyes feral. You stole my life. Wasn't yours to begin with. He lunged. Dad pulled him off. Enough. Victor's poison ends here. But it didn't. Christmas Eve. Package at the door. Video file. Me, in the study shadows, caught on Victor's hidden cam. Murder, the note read. Bluff. But it escalated. New Year's gala met. I danced with socialites, Dad beaming. Victor crashed, drunk, security tackled. He's the fake, he bellowed. Scandal peaked. Stocks tanked 12%. Dad's board whispered oust. My move. Press conference. Family's messy. But truth wins. No details, just poise. Media ate it. Young heirs grace under fire. Spring. Thesis defense aced. Lena texted, proud. Drinks? Hope flickered. But Victor's final play. Blackmail dropped to Dad. Mom's full journal. Affair details my manipulations. Skylar orchestrated it all. He's the snake. Dad confronted me. Penthouse thunder. Did you fake it, son? To what, usurp?
Truth time. Yes.
To save us. His slap stung. Monster. I held ground. Your brother made me. He crumpled. God, what have I done? Forgiveness? Fragile. Graduation week. Rehearsals, caps tossed in practice. Ethan skipped, expelled. Rumors said. The night before, Mom's call. Sky, Victor's coming. Armed with more lies. The ceremony, don't let him. I won't. Sleep evaded. Memories flooded. The gun, the roar. This time no bullets. Just words. Commencement dawned brutal. May sun baking the low library steps. Air humming with 5,000 voices in black gowns. Columbia's quad pulsed. Families snapping selfies. Professors in hoods nodding sagely. The dean droning through names. I sat in the front row. Valedictorian slot earned twice over. Heart a jackhammer under starched polyester. Dad was there. Third row. Suit pressed. Eyes shadowed from sleepless nights. Mom beside him. Elegant armor cracking at the seams.
No Ethan.
No Victor, yet. Security-eyed suggested loomed discreet. Plain clothes, earpieces, Dad's dime. My speech loomed last.
O que tem? Gucci punch, rise.
I'd scripted it clean, no mud, just hail resilience. But contingencies burned in my pocket. USB with unredacted files, ready for the mic. Processional, pomp and circumstance swelling like a tide. Names called. Aisha Patel. Marcus Reed. Mine, Skylar Hale. Applause polite, but Dad's whoop cut through. Raw. Redeeming. Stage heat baked my soles as I gripped the podium, sea of faces blurring. Fellow graduates, families, dreamers. Today we claim our stories. Laughter at the cheesiness. Then pivot. Mine? It's one of fractures. A father who built empires, a mother who wove them with grace. And shadows, brothers, uncles, who tested what family means. Murmurs. Dad shifted, proud, wary. I stand here not despite the breaks, but because of them. Betrayal? It forges.
Doubt?
It sharpens.
Pause.
Eyes to Dad. To Richard Hale. You taught me legacy isn't blood, it's choice. Tear tracks gleamed on Mom's cheek. Applause built. Thunderous. Off stage. Dean Ramirez clasped my shoulder. Inspirational, Skylar. Real talk. But as confetti rained, chaos erupted. Victor stormed the aisle, disheveled, suit rumpled, flanked by two goons in ill-fit blazers. Lies. All of it. Security swarmed, but he bellowed, mic jacked from a stagehand. This boy's a fraud. Hacked his way to air. I have proof. Crowd gasped, phones up, live streaming the meltdown. Dad bolted on stage, face ashen. Vic, stop this. Richard, wake up. Skylar's the poison. He faked the DNA, deepfakes, hacks, to steal your throne. Victor thrust a tablet. Blurry stills of me at Lena's laptop, timestamps damning. Media frenzy. Flashes popping like gunfire. My old death flashed, gun to temple, betrayal's roar. Not again. I snatched the mic, Uncle Victor. Enough games. He whirled. You. Let's end it. Here. Truth serum, DNA. I yanked the USB, slotted into the podium AV, screen behind lit, clinic report unedited. My match. Ethan's mismatch. Victor's emails. Switch the sample, plant the doubt. Gasps rippled. Victor lunged. Fabricated. But Dad. Oh, God, grabbed his arm. I saw the originals, Vic. In Napa. You're done. Security hauled him, kicking. He's the imposter. Skylar orchestrated. Twist, my own. The crowd parted as Ethan emerged from the wings. Wild-eyed. Gown askew.
No.
Stop. He'd snuck in back row. Now center stage. Voice cracking. I knew. For months. The files. Dad. Victor confessed.
Drunk.
In Napa. Victor froze, hauled mid-stride. Boy, shut. Ethan faced the mic, tears streaming. Skylar's right.
I'm
Not Hale, but he is. And he saved us from you. Pandemonium. Cheers, booze, flashes blinding. Dad enveloped Ethan, not in rage, but pity.
son. I'm sorry.
Not blood, but choice. Victor spat as cuffs clicked. You'll rot, Ricky. All of you. Cops dragged him, but his eyes locked mine. Promise of hell. Post-ceremony. Quad cleared to family zones.
Hugs, sobs.
Mom clung. My boys. Dad pulled me aside, Hudson breeze cooling sweat. You risked everything.
Why?
Love, I said. Truth, half. The other half? Vengeance, sweet as absolution. But the controversial blade. In the chaos, I'd whispered to security, Victor's goons? Not plants. Paid off by me, via Lena's crypto wallet. To force his hand, ensure the blowout. Entrapment? Gray as fog. Lena knew. You're walking a wire, Sky. FBI circled post-arrest. Victor's crew flipped, naming names. Mine among? Sloppy traces. Dad's lawyers buried it, but whispers lingered. Skylar Hale. Savior or schemer? Media storm. CNN panels debating Tech Dynasty's dark secret. Stocks rebounded 8% on transparency. Victor indicted. Fraud, embezzlement.
Ethan?
Therapy, then community college, his choice. Summer, rebuild. I deferred CEO whispers, took a sabbatical, road trip, Lena shotgun. Route 66 dust in our hair. Clean slate? She asked, over diner pie. Slates crack. We patch. Fall. Grad school?
No.
Hale board seat, unofficial. Dad mentored, eyes clear. You're the future. But nights. Ghosts stirred. The deep fake guilt. Victor's trial loomed. December, Manhattan court.
Ide testifi.
One eve, penthouse. Dad poured scotch.
Big sa pealing.
Claims you framed him fully. Let him. He studied me. Did you?
Pause.
The line blurred. Enough to end it. Silence. Then, good. Brotherhood, forged in fire. Ethan called. Sky? Thanks. For not. Erasing me. Family chooses. Lena moved in, my walk-up, bookshelves bowing. No more hacks. Promise.
Lie.
One last. Wipe Victor's remnants. Digital scorched earth. Trial day. Snow flurried Federal Plaza. Victor. Orange jumpsuit. Sneered from the dock.
Skylar hale, mastermind.
He killed my legacy. Objection sustained. My testimony. Facts files. No deepfakes admitted. Suppressed. Jury deliberated hours. Guilty. 20 years. Fraud. Conspiracy. Victor lunged at recess. This ain't over, nephew. But it was. Post-verdict. Holiday party. Hale style subdued. Toasts to new chapters. Me and Dad. Balcony. City lights winking.
Pou, son.
Echoed my hook before the roar. Winter thawed into a tentative spring, but the chill lingered in my bones. Victor's appeal dragged. Lawyers nitpicking code, alleging my interference, tainted evidence. Dad aged a decade in months. Board meetings turning combative. Skylar's too green. One suit grumbled. After the scandal? I countered with results. AI rollout, patents filed. Hale dynamics surged. New York Times profile. From fracture to frontier, the Hale heirs rise. But privately, fractures widened. Ethan thrived at his upstate college, psych major, irony thick, but calls grew sparse. Still processing, bro, he'd say. Mom? Therapy queen, spilling to shrinks what she'd bottled for decades. I chose wrong, Sky. For peace.
Peace.
The word mocked. My controversial scalpel, the goons, the frame nagged. Lena sensed it. You're haunted. Nights I'd wake sweating, guns ghost at my temple. Rebirth's curse. Memories unerasable. Twist brewed in April. Anonymous email. You think it's over? Check the clinic logs. Heart seized. Victor, from Rikers, pulling strings? I dug. Old servers, Lena's help. Clinic 2004, not one swap.
2.
Dad's sample tainted, yes.
But mine?
IVF batch contaminated. Victor's tampering, but.
Wait.
Deeper, Mom's pre-Ethan fertility docs. A hidden insemination. Not Victor. Dad's rival, a biotech VC who'd courted Mom in the 90s. Brief fling, buried. No, the log. Sample donor ID, not Hale. But cross-ref. Victor's early startup, cryobank ties. The gut punch. I was Victor's too. Partial, chimerism, lab fuck-up. 60% Hale, 40% Victor's donations swapped in desperation. Victor hadn't just stolen. He'd seeded us both. Ethan full, me hybrid. His grand design. Control the bloodline, whichever one. Rage, then clarity. The ultimate betrayal. Not Dad's doubt, but Victor's God complex. I confronted the source. Victor, visitor's room, plexiglass grimy. He grinned, shackled. Took you long enough, Skylar. Or should I say, nephew-cousin? You poisoned us all. Insurance. Ricky got the empire. I got the heirs. You, my masterpiece. Hail fire, my cunning. Why tell now? Appeal bait. Testify your mind, case dismissed, blood taint. I leaned in. Never. His laugh barked. You'll crack. Family's me. Out, I burned the files. No leak. My secret buried. Choice. Pure Hail, by will. Dad's birthday gala. June met again. A-listers, string quartet. I toasted. To Richard, architect of dreams. Later, balcony. Sky, something's off. You seem distant. Truth tempted. Just ghosts. He gripped my shoulder. We all have M.
But you're solid.
My son. Choice affirmed. Lena proposed. Ring from a Brooklyn jeweler. Simple gold. Build with me? Yes. Future, not past. Ethan visited summer. Barbecue in the Hamptons. Waves crashing. Heard about Victor's play. I froze. Who? He wrote me. Bragging. Said you're his too. Twist shared. Ethan shrugged. Doesn't change shit. We're Hales, by choice. Brotherhood sealed. Fall. Board vote. Me, VP Innovation. Dad stepped back. Your era. Victor lost appeal. Perjury stacked. Life, no parole. New Year's. Penthouse. Family only. Snow swirled Central Park. Toasts laughter real. But my hook echoes. The roar, the blood. Rebirth's gift? Not erasure, evolution. I died once, betrayed. Lived twice, vengeful. Now, I choose grace. Controversial? Hell yes, frames, fakes, fractures. But in America's grind, tech titans, family feuds, it's survival. Skylar Hale, imposter no more. Architect, like dad. The end? Open. Legacies twist. But mine's mine. Fade to skyline glow.
No guns.
Just light.